And we are live. FSBRacing.com on the air at Atlanta 1997. Winston Cup Series here on Friday nights here at FSBRacing.com. Thanks for joining us here at Atlanta Motor. This is the old school Atlanta Motor Speedway when it used to be a true oval, not the quad oval it is today. I prefer this one. I'm old school. I like old school racing, and that's what we're going to have tonight. And big, huge field as usual here on Friday nights. One big thing that's missing, of course, tonight, uh, partner in crime and broadcast and driver extraordinaire Milt Mintner. Junior is unfortunately not able to join us tonight, but a shout out to Milty. Hopefully he can be watching the broadcast. Milty busting his butt right now, earning a living. And we got to respect that and hope the best for him. And we're all thinking about him. And he's a good guy, and he's a hard-working guy, and that's what he's going to continue to be. So hopefully he'll be enjoying tonight's broadcast here. We got as I said, a very nice, generous size field here. Let me show you our qualifying results as happy hour is coming to an end here. Ken Hansen on the pole. So Ken is really having a strong second half of the season. Of course, points-wise, Robert Bokum in the 18 has been really the class of the field all series long. Robert's just done a tremendous
like
job.
I told these boys in the meeting, we don't need anything over the top today. We got a good race car, we got a good driver, we got a good pit crew.
And you can
All we
see
got to do is just everybody carry their weight. We'll be just fine at the end of this thing. 10-4.
Listening to some of that radio traffic in the driver's cars there, and we're about to go live here. So Ken Hansen, Dave Jandria front row, Mark DeSenza, Mark Favorite. We got an all Mark second row. Yeah, I know, too easy. Let's get a better angle here for you as we go up to our front with the 9 of Ken Hansen. There we see Ken. Let's see if we can get a front. So there we got some views of our field here as we're getting ready to go green.
The fun doesn't start till we ask our drivers a question.
Getting that command.
Drivers, will you please start your engine?
Yeah, get a lot of static. I'm gonna switch radios real quick. We still going off.
And
Do it, buddy.
you can hear the radio traffic amongst the drivers, giving you a little insight there to listening to them. Yeah. But here we are, Ken Hansen, Dave Jandry, as we said, all marked second row. Mark DeSenza in the sixth. Got to thank Apple Collision Centers as well before we get started for sponsoring the series. Also sponsoring the 6 car Mark DeSenza, the 18 car Robert Bokum. Thank you very much, Apple Collision Centers, and we appreciate that support and hope you enjoy tonight's race because we know you guys are big fans of the 18 and the 6 and all the Bokum Motorsports drivers, which usually are stout guys. They're well organized. They're all pros, and they know how to win. They've all won. They know how to get the victory circle. So we'll see. We see the 52 there of Rick Johnson, the 6 of Bill Farmer, the 02 Dave Simons. Congratulations, Dave Simons. Boss man Jim Ray given the proclamation today. Dave has completed his application phase, and he is now an FSB driver. And we are under green flag, and Ken Hansen will lead us off here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is, again, the 1997 version. It's when Atlanta was still a true oval. And personally, again, biased. And we can see we got a car up against the wall there. It's the 6 car of Bill Farmer. So Bill was looking good early on. We'll have to we'll see what's going on here with Bill. Came to a complete stop, and now he's very much off the pace. Green flag has stayed on, so let's go through our field. There we see our 99 of Pops Margerson, 30 of Mike Guidry, teammate of mine there in Voodoo Motorsports. See how Mike can do tonight. He's been inside information. Mike's had a celebratory day, so we'll see how he can do at the wheel here tonight. Right ahead of him, the 32 of Michael Morse. Also Michael Morse, also newly into the FSB division of FSB Racing, which is our lower division, our entry division. Once you go through the application phase, generally you get placed into this division. If you show a higher skill level, you may be placed in what we call the sportsman division, our second level, and then of course sportsmen who display the true skills of NR 2003, such as what we're seeing here as Sam sliding back a little, and there's the 18 of Robert Bokum. You may get invited to become what is in the pro division of FSB, which is the highest level. So 3 divisions here at FSB, and this is all thrown together tonight for some Friday night Winston Cup racing. There we see the 77 of Pat Richet, another teammate of mine there, Voodoo Motorsports. Guy Petra right ahead of him in that Cobra Mustang. Six, 68 of Chet Barkin right ahead of those guys there, and Guy and those guys behind Guy. 07 of Ken Soska, coming off his first FSB win. So congrats to Ken on that win, and he was pretty pumped up. I believe to have that win, and maybe that momentum will carry on tonight, and maybe Ken can make a little magic happen here and become the first FSB division driver to win a Winston Cup race. Pros and sportsmen are tough to beat here. They're experienced. They know how to work these long races and be patient and save the car. We're watching the 23 of Jim Scharf, also Jim with a big super speedway win. So a lot of winners in this tonight's field here. 17 of T-Roy. Here we see T-Roy looking underneath the 16 of Dan Francisconi, Sconi.com. Yeah, Dan there, kind of track that suits Dan, I think, pretty well. See how he does throughout this race here as we're on lap 7 only. Still a lot of laps remaining here, 132. We're going to run here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There we see the 303 of Ken Ron. Ken showing in the 9th position. All right, ahead of Ken, the 69 of Doug Tevick, Team FSB representing. Right ahead of him is the 44 Mark Favorite. Mark's been solid all season long. He's really been showing the skills here all season. Tremendous seasons in all his series that he's competing in, and you can see here he's looking very nice, very easy, cruising here in 7th place, and very impressive drive so far from Mark Favorite, doing what he needs to do. And you can see the front of the field here is really stacking up. The 02 of Dave Simons, the 54 of Bill Yarbrough right there battling almost side by side. Dave taking a look on the inside of him right now. Bill closing that off for the moment. But right ahead of him, we got a nice little battle there. The 52 of Rick Johnson, the 51 of Dave Jandry, and the 6 Mark DeSenza. We're all nose to tail chasing our leader, and that's the 9 car Ken Hansen, who's just drove a fine race so far. On the poles, led all 11 laps, going up a little high here. So as soon as I compliment him, he gets a little high. Maybe a little higher than you'd like to. Let's see. getting back into 3 and 4 here. And you can see the Wolves are snapping at Ken's heels. The 6, the 51, the 52, they're all right there. So is the 50. Got a lot of 50s here ganging up on the single-digit cars. And then right behind them is the 02 of Dave Simons. Here we see a move for the lead. Mark DeSenza going low to the inside of Ken Hansen. Everyone following him, so Ken's going to get hung out here momentarily. Let's say where he can blend in. Mark DeSenza is our new leader. Dave Jandry has taken the second position. The 52 of Rick Johnson now taking that third position. Bill Yarbrough following. Dave Simons following. Mark Favorite would love to follow. Let's see if that happens. I don't think so. It does not. So Ken goes from first to sixth. And that's how quick it can happen here at FSB. You see this, no margin for error. Ken getting a little high in the turns there. Maybe started out the race, put some heat up on those tires and got a little slick. Might have to back off a little, cool them down a bit, and work for the rest of this run as we're only on lap 14. Still plenty of laps to go before we would entertain green flag stops here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Glad you can join us. FSBRacing.com. Winston Cup Friday nights. This is racing at its. I mean, you gotta like know. It looks like it's almost looking like super speedway racing here at Atlanta Motor. And believe me, the setups are not super speedway setups. You see just a host of cars side by side nearly there in turn 2, coming out onto the back stretch, now into 3 here at Atlanta. This is again the old 1997 version of Atlanta Motor, and you can see it lends to some really good racing here. We'll get a bigger view of the speedway here, and you can appreciate it. See the nice full stands there as see the backstretch. This is really what it was, a little open now. Now it's a lot different. If you ever watch a race there now, you'll see it's a lot different than it is here. But it's some great racing, and there you see him coming down the front stretch for the big tower. All the suites in there. That's where all the rich folk sit, up there in that front straight glass tower. Some great racing going on is what they're seeing, and that's the 6 of Mark DeSenza, 51 of Dave Jandry, 52 Rick Johnson, 54 Bill Yarbrough, the 02 of Dave Simons, just running nose to tail lap after lap after lap here, 17 laps in. Some tremendous racing going on here. Very clean, very calm it looks at the front. So we'll sneak back here, and then we see Mark, who has latched onto this, as has the 69 of Doug Tevick. Nice to see Doug running there and running good and up at the front. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. I'm not saying it's a surprise. I just said it's good to see. We see now that pack, 8th place is Doug Tevick's car. 9th place T-Roy, and we can see there is a gap of about 4 seconds to this group here. So let's take a look at this group. This is the 17 of Troy Knoll, T-Roy, 303 of Ken Ron, and the 16 of Dan Francisconi. 9th, 10th, and 11th. You can see Dan all over the back bumper of Ken there. Again, though, also content here to kind of run together and log some laps. As we get back a little further, another gap, and we see Guy Petra side by side with Dog Palmer, and that is, of course, for position. And Guy wants that inside line. That's, I think, the little faster way around here. Let's see if I'm correct. We'll follow this battle into the next turn, and Dog does give up that position to Guy. So Guy will take over the 12th position. And now Pat Rouchet is also down on the bottom, taking a little glimpse there on the inside, and that's let Joe Cutt get a good run onto the inside. And now Joe Cutt takes the position away from Pat, and now Pat trying to do a little do-si-do with them and repay the favors. Joe Cutt goes high. So some great racing here in the back in let's say mid-ish pack. The 151, 108, 88, 77, all battling, and right behind them the 23 of Jim Sharf, 72 of Mike Pruitt, 68 of Chet Barkin. They're all in this mix as well. So some good racing here. Again, 12th on back or so. But again, FSB racing, you got to race who's in front of you, and that guy's pretty fast, whether it's in 10th or 2nd. And you can see some good battles going on amongst these guys. Finally settled in. Joe Cutt did hold that position. Now he's taking a look here on the outside of Dog, and that's an interesting move. Now maybe he's going to take another look to the inside, and you can see Joe Cutt right on the back bumper. He's bumper riding Dog, and there he goes. That's a classic move there by the pro Joe Cutt, as he just rode that bumper of Dog Palmer. Made him go up a little. We got some wrecking going on, the 23 and 72. We see cars got to woe it down, woe it down, woe it down. Everyone does. The 72 is getting going. The 23 is here getting going. We are under our first caution here at Atlanta. So Mike Pruitt there. Great break for Bill Farmer. As you can see, he'll be able to gather back up and pick up that ground he lost right at the beginning there. Looks like Mike Pruitt there should be okay as well. Doesn't look like there's a whole heck of a lot of damage that I see. We'll take another quick look at this. And we can see the 2368 actually in... I'm confused. Let's take one more look at this. The 68 and 72, the 23 up high, and maybe just a little scrape of the wall there, but the contact was between the 68 and 72, which we didn't know before. Yeah, and you can see the 68 up very high, as is the 72. They have a whole lot of track here, but the car pushed up just a little for both of them, and unfortunately just a little contact between Chet and Mike there, and that sent Mike unfortunately into Jim Sharf on the outside of Mike, and they touched, and we'll follow this. You can see a little bump of the wall from each of them, and another little shot there for Jim Sharf, but Mike Pruitt did, and then you can see the rest of the field doing a great job of avoiding Mike there, kind of dead in the water on the track, and everyone seems to get around safely, so we'll take that. As we go back live, we see the 72 car exiting the pits after services. So let's go back up to the front here, which was the 6 car Mark Desenza. And we'll watch pit stops now that we didn't get to see live, as we were taking a look at the first incident of the night. 68 and the 72 coming together and getting the 23. There we see Mark coming in, Dave Jandry. There we see Ken Hansen from the pole pitting in that preferred number 1 stall. 52 there, Rick Johnson. 44 Mark Fravert, all in there. We also see the 02 of Dave Simons really in at an extreme angle. And there we see the 6 coming out, and Doug, wow. Doug had a great pit stop. Let's take another look at that. Of course, Doug was pitting a little further back here. Let's see. We see Doug was coming in as the 2nd car, right behind Mark Desenza. He hits his marks very nicely, and the crew just did a... You see Ken Ron getting in a little, and then we see the 02 having problems how to back up. There we see the left side's going on for Doug. He's out and away. And we see him get around the 54 car and possibly around the 51 of Dave Jandry. So great pit stop by Doug. Nice to see that crew turn that time in right there. And we go back live and we see that indeed Doug is in the second position here, lap 26 of 132. 6 of Mark DeSenza is our leader, 69 second, 51 of Dave Jandry's third. Lights are off on the pace car, so we're going to be getting back to green very quickly here. Bill Yarbrough in fourth, Ken Hansen fifth, Rick Johnson sixth. And then we got Mark Favorite, Dave Simons, T. Roy in seventh, in the 17 and ninth, and Guy Petra cracking the top 10 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we're going green at lap 28. Not quite a fuel run when that caution came out, so I believe they can run into the 30s here on a fuel run. So not a bad start, though. Now we're going to start all single file, and as we look at our running order, you'll see that not a soul is on a lap down. Every car on the lead lap. We have 29 cars on the lead lap still here at Atlanta Motor. Mark DeSenza is our leader. Doug Tevick is second. Dave Jandry, Bill Yarbrough, and Ken Hansen round out our top 5. And all these guys are very experienced drivers, very good at what they do, lots of wins under their belts. So I'm sure we're going to see a very smooth restart here from the front. And green is out. Green, green, green. Mark DeSenza leads them down into turn 1. Nice start by Mark. He got a great start. And Doug gets a little loose. And he's into the outside wall, and there's got some wrecking behind him. Robert Bokum, T. Roy spins. 32 hits Bokum in the back and smashes him. 30 is around. They're still wrecking. And this is a worst case scenario. Everyone. A lot of wrecking going on there. And you see the 23 bouncing off the wall still. People now taking the caution, slowing down. And that was a mess. That was ugly. Big wreck. Lots of people involved there. Hopefully not Doug, definitely involved. Robert Bokum did a great job. Got hit from behind. And that's not looking good for Robert. He'll have to address that in the pits. Pops there. Then we come back to Mark DeSenza taking the pace car here. So just Doug, I didn't quite catch the very beginning of it to see if there was any contact at all. But we'll take another look at this. And it looks like the car just got loose out from under Doug. And this is when the trouble began. We see evasive action already being taken as Doug slides. The 52 of Rick Johnson probably might have saw some light flash in front of him there. As we slow it down, we see Doug sliding up. We see Mark Favorite taking some evasive action. T. Roy. These guys seem to get by fairly intact. As we see some wrecking going on also in the back with the 68 spinning toward the back there. There's Robert Bokum. There's Pat. There's T. Roy. So as we continue this, we see the contact between the 77 and the 17. And that sent T. Roy spinning and hard into the inside wall. And unfortunately, that also had Robert had slight really not a too terrible. We can maybe take this back just a bit here. And you see that there's the contact with Pat, and then you can see Robert really woeing it down and a little tap, but here's where the problems began for Robert, as you see the 32 car with a wallop on the backside of Robert Bokum, who basically had to come to a stop to avoid killing T-Roy. So unfortunately for Robert, he did everything he could do, and this is why they call them accidents. And we see the 32 car there. Uh, just a little, maybe a little too hot. The 30 there making contact with the 77. There goes Robert. Now he just clipped the edge of the 68 car, who sent him into the 23. And as we keep going back, we see the Doug still spinning, and there's just a pile of cars, and that was ugly. And we're back live. And we're going to check our running order here. Everyone still stayed on the lead lap. No retirees from that wreck. I think Robert and Doug probably got the worst of it. T-Roy also was pretty banged up, I think. Obviously, our front runners unscathed. Lights are out on the pace car, as we have no cars lap down or more. When there's a car a lap down or more, or if a car retires, they run an extra caution lap. When every car's on the lead lap, they run one less caution lap. So you see what all these cars getting into the pits, getting banged on, getting fixed up, getting some tires and fuel most likely. We've managed to keep every car on the lead lap. The 18 car Robert Bokum there in 19th. We'll follow him. There's Doug back in 21st, Pat 25th. So we'll see how these guys do that were involved. Mike Guidry involved as well. Chet had maybe just a bit of damage. We'll follow the 17 of T-Roy as well and see if these guys can stay competitive. Big field here, 29 cars, so it's a tall order when your car is not right. But we're getting ready for green flag. Mark DeSenza leading them down. Dave Jandry second, Bill Yarbrough third, Ken Hansen fourth, Mark Favorite fifth. A little dicey to get started on lap one. You got to let the car warm up, let those tires heat up, and we see a car spinning. There's a car spinning here in the back of the field. It's the 59. And caution is out. Caution is out. And that's the 59 Orion Johnson making his FSB debut tonight. Not debut as in first time ever, but debut as in hasn't been a while. Inauspicious camera time, Ryan, but good to see you back, and he'll get back in the swing of things. It's maybe knock off a little rust. It's all good. There we see T-Roy. Of course, T-Roy, you can see the back end kind of bashed in. Jim Scharf was also involved in that earlier pile-up. There we see the 30 and the 77, both involved in that. They both look semi-okay there. I don't see any... 72 also was involved in our first caution. This now being our third caution. There we see Doug. Doug is showing a little banged up there. 68 looks okay. There's Robert. Let's see what the crew did for him. Well, that looks a lot better, Robert. I'll tell you, that Apple Collision Center sponsorship is rubbing off on that Boca Motorsports pit crew. 'Cause it looks like they did no pun intended, a bang-up job getting that rear end fixed. That looks almost half decent. It didn't look very good when he got that bash in, but man, all right, Robert, good job by his pit crew. That's why you have a collision center on your hood. You're a smart guy. You say, hey, look, if I get wrecked, I want to have the boys know how to fix a wreck, as well as how to change tires and get that fuel in 14.9 or so. And yeah, this isn't modern day NASCAR. This is NR 2003. The pit stops then fast was 15 seconds. Now 12 seconds, 13. But we'll see. I thought maybe Robert's night was gonna not be a good one, but I think maybe there's hope there for him. Like he needs any hope. The 52 there, Rick Johnson. He's been up with our leaders. He's kind of slid back just slightly here, still in the top 10. 52 car, 02 of Dave Simons, 16 of Dan Francisconi. Den up into the top 5 now. Den with a solid run so far. Good job, Den. And if you're at a computer right now and you're watching this, or you're on the FSB live page and you're watching this, just open up another window real quick, type in Sconi.com and check out that website. That's what he's all about, and I think you'll be invigorated, to say the least, once you see the stuff that Den does, and on top of that, just an overall great guy and a damn good driver as well. And just check it out if you got the second. Sconi.com there, right on the hood there for Dan. See the lights still on the pace car. FSB Corvette. Dave Jandria has assumed our lead under caution now. Bill Yarbrough second. Ken Hansen third. 44 car, Mark Craver fourth. Then we see the Sconi.com. Then Francisconi. 02 with Dave Simons. 52 car, PPG Industries Armor All on the bumper. 52 car, Rick Johnson. Dog, Palmer. Thor Dog on the hood. 83 Steve Weber. Haven't said his name all night until tonight. Webb, you're in the top 10 now. You're 9th. You got some Jack Daniels on board. You represent Monsoon. Now it's all good there. Tucson, Arizona. 98 of Sam Young. Yeah, that's what he is on the track. He's a predator. He's also sponsored by AdVision. Also does some admin. 07 car, Monster Energy, Ken Saska. There's Bill Farmer. Bill up to 12. So from that first little incident, you see the car's a little wrinkled there on the side from his earlier incident, but he's all right. We hear those engines revving. We got green flag racing. Slide back up to the front here. Dave Jandry, our leader. See the field stream out behind him. Dave's up a little high there. Dave using all the track here. And you can see the speeds increasing up to 180 miles an hour as he enters the turn. See some good racing there for second between the 54 Bill Yarbrough and the 9 of Ken Hansen. And then we see a move by Bill Yarbrough to the inside of Dave Jandry. He's been going very high in turn. Bill Yarbrough will be our new leader. Ken Hansen following him through that hole there, and we'll see if the 44 Mark Favor will follow as well, and he cannot do it right now. So Ken up to second. Our new leader is Bill Yarbrough in the 54. Dave Jandry back to third from the lead. And we can see the rest of the field streaming out behind us. Everyone's getting underway fairly clean. The 06, Bill Farmer, 18, Robert Bokum on the outside. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Robert's car behaves now, as we see some scrambling going on. We see Den heading down on the apron. So some problems here for the 16 car, as he's down low and he's slow. He's low and slow, and that ain't good in racing. And is he coming into the pits is the question. Yes, he is. So Dan Francisconi, unscheduled pit stop. We'll follow him down to see if there's something going on here, or if he brings the car to a stop. Yeah, and he's disconnected. That's what I thought might happen. Didn't want to say it until it did, but then becomes, I believe, our first car out of the race. So Dan has retired. We will go fourth in this race, lap 44 of 132. Still a lot of racing to go. Nice run so far here. Went green at about lap 30. And we see the 69 of Doug Tevick. Of course, remember Doug spun and maybe had some bang up there in that big incident that took out a lot of, didn't take out anyone actually, but had a lot of cars get some sheet metal damage that they had to address, and looks like pretty successfully. But we see Doug there down in the 14th position right now. If you go a little further back, 72 and Mike Pruitt. And now we see that the 17 car of T-Roy has also retired. So 2 cars out and 32 showing 1 lap down. And we see the 30 car of Mike Guidry, 80 of Ed Finley. Flying those Air Force colors. And of course, always thinking of our veterans as we near Veterans Day coming up in a few weeks. A lot of veterans here at FSB. A lot of guys served their country and are currently serving their country proudly. A lot of vets, and we appreciate all of them and all their service that they put in. And Ed always flying the military colors, and gotta like that. See Guy Petra taking an inside move there on the 303 Ken Ron, and Guy will take that position away. It's a battle for 20th there, and now Joe Cutt with a nice run there. Joe really had a good run. Got right up on Ken, just shot the car down to the inside. It stuck, And Joe Cutt will also take a position from Ken Ron. And we see Ryan moving on, and there we go back to our leaders, and that is the 54 of Bill Yarbrough, 51 of Dave Jandry, 9 of Ken Hansen, 1, 2, 3. Now Dave Jandry making a look on the inside of Bill Yarbrough. And it looks like Dave Jandry wants to take back that lead that he had to start this green flag run. And also now the 52 of Rick Johnson also moving up very quickly here, right onto the back bumper of Ken Hansen. Almost looked like there was going to be a little contact there between Rick and Ken. But Rick doing a great job there. He knows how to get up on someone's back bumper. Yeah, he does. 4-time Pro Cup champion Rick Johnson, amongst other, I'm sure, titles, trucks, Winston Cups. There used to be a Busch Series here. He probably won. I mean, you name it, Rick was winning it. Now doesn't run the full schedule like he used to, but still a threat, as you can see. Very racy. Solid third place right now. Bill Yarbrough falling back to fourth. So we've seen this kind of cycle. Dave Jandry started, he kind of fell back to fourth, then he came back up. Now Ken Hansen taking a look on the inside, and everyone going to help that inside line again. And now let's see if Ken can pull off this pass. And Ken Hansen has, and our pole sitter has come back into the lead that he once enjoyed come at lap 1 of the race. He led a bunch of laps early on, and then now he's back in. So another second-time leader in this race to join Dave Jandry. But there's a big stack up of cars. There's some good racing going on here at the lead. Now the 51's still up high there, getting shuffled back. The 54 of Bill Yarbrough back up to third. As we said, he went from first back to fourth, now back up to third. Now we see Mark Favor taking an inside look here at the 51 car of Dave Jandry. Doug Palmer right there, the 02 of Dave Simons also right there. So this lead pack is very racy. And then you can see a second pack developing right behind the 83 car of Steve Weber, who is wanting to join this party and get in the game. And it looks like Steve will be there. And there is some draft here at Atlanta, so you hook up just right. You can get that toe into the corner, and that'll help you keep up and get that run off the corner that we've been seeing. And right now, Ken Hansen is our leader. Ken Hansen's first, 52 of Rick Johnson second, Bill Yarbrough third, Dave Jandry fourth. See the 02 taking a little glimpse on the inside there of the 108. Doug Palmer with a solid run again. Doug just keeps on going and going and going, and he likes to race. And he just he's ready to break through and get his first win here, and I know he's hungry for it. And I know he's also very happy that he's put together quite an impressive new team with the 23 of Jim Scharf, the 9 of Ken Hansen. I think waiting in the wings of approval, Isaac Johnson, who is Ryan's, I believe, son. So keep it all in the family here as well in FSB, as we say, talk about Ryan. There he is. Unfortunately, Ryan going a lap down now. Nine of Ken Hansen is our leader, and then we see Dave, Bill, and Mark taking a look under the 59 car. There we see the 108, the 02, and the 83, our last trio of this lead group. And then we got to go back to the 18 car, Robert Bokum. which is about almost a 4-second gap there. And I think Robert maybe needs to be not the lead car possibly, and maybe he needs someone to tow him a little. I don't know. He knows better than I do. But right now the 07 of Ken Soska moving up, and there's almost contact with the 06 as Ken made a hard move to the inside and the car pushed up and almost into the 6. They did not appear to make any contact, but that leaves the door open now for the 69 of Doug Tevick to try to come through at the bottom. And we got the 18 and 06 up high, the 69, the 32. 32 is the lap down. 99 and now the 07 drifted back a little, and now Doug does get around Bill, and he'll take that position, which is the 10th position. So Doug back into the top 10 after that initial spin that from second place that sent him all the way to the back of the field. Climbing back up into the top 10. And I think if he gets ahead of Robert and then lets Robert drive right behind him, I think Robert would be, I think this pack might move more expediently. Maybe not. But Doug's car is, of course, now that I'm thinking, Doug's car might have some damage as well. But Doug looking racy here. As we go back to this lead group, we see that the 83 and 108 have swapped positions, but also have lost touch with our lead group. We see the 54 of Bill Yarbrough coming down pit lane, so we may see the start of pit stops now, and we see a lot of cars on pit lane. The 9 of Ken Hansen, the 44, the 02, also on pit lane. Who else is on pit lane? There we see the 07 Squirrely. He's okay. There we see Ken coming out. 54 in, 108 in pit lane. So green flag stops now here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 52 car, Rick Johnson in. The 51 of Dave Jandry in. The 83 is Steve Weber also in. Robert Bokum, Doug Tevick staying out. Let's check this running order. So this is our lead group now. The 69 is in the lead. The 18, Robert Bokum, second. Mark DeSenza, third. The 32 is one lap down right now. Mark looking high. See if he can get around the 32 car. 32 car makes contact twice. Both double contact there with the 18. And now he's into the wall. And a rough night for the 32 car and the 18. They just can't stay away from each other. And it looked like Robert Bokum was pitting. I'm sure that he would put up his auto chat that he was pitting, but it looked like he got bumped from behind. And instead of pitting, which I don't think he could have done, he got back on the gas and actually did a fair job of keeping speed. It is going to cost him, though. Let's make no mistake about it. But now he is going into pit lane. The 72 also in, the 80 in, the 68 in. So some more adversity for the 18 car to see if he can overcome the 43 Rick Bisconner there now coming out of the pits as the 72 comes in. Now the 98 and the 72 getting into it, and the 18. And Sam does a great job of slamming that car into gear and getting out. Little contact there between Sammy and Robert Bokum. Man, Robert's had a filled night already here, and we're right at the halfway point, I should say, of this race. And Robert's had a real trying time here tonight. Let's catch back up here. Lap 67 of 132. So we are past halfway. We are checking our leaderboard as they cycle back around. We're looking at Rick Johnson there in the 52. 02 is Dave Simons right ahead of him. As they cross the line, we see the cars are starting to unlap themselves. And as we keep continuing to go forward, and then we see the 6 car Mark DeSenza is in the pits. We're looking for the 88 and the 151, and there they are. They're finished and done. And the 6 is coming out as well. So all 3 cars stayed out the longest, and all 3 come out. What position they come out in remains to be seen, of course. We're on lap 60. Pit stops complete at lap 69. And this will hand the lead back to Dave Jandry. Bill Yarbrough second. The 02 of Dave Simons is now third. 52 of Rick Johnson is fourth. And the caution is out. We have a caution out. As we travel around the track. Do not see any telltale signs of why that happened. So we're just trying to see what came out for this caution. Well, mystery caution. I don't see it. Don't know what happened. But that does slow everything down and scrambles everything up again. We will see what this does as they cross the start-finish line. Now, let's see. 43 and 23 are showing tail end of the lead lap. Do have a couple cars a lap down and 4 cars retired. So we do have 23 cars on, technically 23 cars, 21 cars on the actual lead lap, 2 on the tail end. We'll see if they pit here. If they do, I believe they go a lap down. So we'll see if they elect to pit or not, and that would be the 43 and the 23. Our leader is Mark DeSenza. You see he's showing there right behind the 43 car. Lights are still on. Guy Petra with a good run. He's up to second. '68. is moved up very nicely. Trying to see what happened to the 9 at Ken Hanley. He was showing in second. Now he's not there. So let's see what now our running order with the lights out. We'll have some lap cars go down to the inside. But Mark DeSenza's our leader. Guy Petra second in the 151 Cobra car. 68 at Chet Barkin in third. Great run. Let me see that Sammy has gone a lap down as well now. So Sam is not going to be... and Sammy's going to be very wanting to get up there to get his lap back, but the 32 car ahead of him might pose some issues for him. FSB rules, no passing to the backstretch. Lights are out on the pace car. Mark DeSenza is our leader. Cars on the inside are one lap or more down. Sam Young there in the Predator car. Jim Scharf right behind him in the Peak Freightliner. They're a lap down. Mark DeSenza is our leader. And green. Guy Petra gets a good jump with Mark. Chet there struggles on the restart. Now the lap down cars as well on the bottom. I have to be careful, and the 32 goes for a ride onto the apron. It comes back up, and everything seems to be okay. Chet didn't get the greatest of restarts there and left a big gap, and there you see it. To the 23 Jim Scharf, who's a lap down along with Sammy, but they're going under the second place car, Guy Petra now. So Sam does look like he has a good car. Now, just because you have a good car doesn't mean you're going to get around Mark DeSenza, though. You got to have a damn good car to get around Mark DeSenza. So Sam certainly has his work cut out for him to get around Mark and then stay ahead of Mark until a caution comes out. That would be something that would be tough to do, but Sam can do it. He's very capable, and he knows how to get to the front, and he's doing it right now, right on the back bumper of Mark DeSenza. Jim Scharf trying to stay in contact with the 98, so whatever Sam does, Jim can follow, and if Sam can get Mark to go up a little and Sam gets underneath him, I know Jim will follow Sam right through there, both unlapping themselves, so they would really like to see that. But right now Guy Petra is letting Jim Scharf know that he's the second place runner, and he's not a lap down, and he's right on the back bumper of Jim Scharf now. And a whole host of cars, as you can see, right behind Guy. The 51 of Dave Jandry now taking a look on the inside, and he's got help with Bill Yarbrough in the 54 car, the TRD Toyota Camry. Bill Yarbrough down on the inside there. So Guy Petra is now losing a few positions, and he's fallen back to the fourth position. Dave Jandry now on the inside of Jim Scharf. Jim, of course, as we said, Jim is one lap down, trying to hang with Sam and Mark DeSenza, but he's just losing some ground there. And then he has some cars that are on the lead lap getting ahead of him as well, and that will hurt Jim. But Sammy is right with the leader, but now Dave Jandry makes a bullet line down to the inside, and now Sam gets up high and he's shuffled. Wow, that happened quick. It looked like Mark had a nice lead, and Dave Jandry just pulled a train of cars down to the inside, and that really upset Sammy. And Sammy went up a little high, and now he's got a bunch of cars getting around him, and losing touch with the leader, which is not what you want to do when you're one lap down in the green flag racing. The 02 with Dave Simons also underneath. Guy Petra went underneath him as well. And now the 52 of Rick Johnson also looking to go underneath Sammy. Dave Jandry just all over the 6 car of Mark DeSenza. And now he's got help to the inside, and that will push him into the lead. Dave Jandry again with the lead. At least 3 times that I can recall, possibly 4. But Dave Jandry is our new leader as we cross the stripe here. Bill Yarbrough is second. Mark DeSenza clinging to third. Guy Petra looking on the inside in fourth, trying to take that third position. And then Dave Simons and the 52 car of Rick Johnson right there. We have a caution out, and we see the 72 car spinning. Oh, that looked maybe a little uglier than I thought. Oh! The 69 car. Let's see what happened there. I didn't catch that right off the. And it looked like Doug got a little loose there on the high line, and he came down right in front of Mike Guidry. Mike Pruitt. Then dug hard into that inside wall, and then there was a tap of the Mike Pruitt car, and that sent Mike tumbling. Two 360s, and then the cruelty of the inside wall as well for Mike Pruitt. So a vomit ride for Mike Pruitt there. We'll ride with Mike Pruitt here as you see Doug Tevick on the outside there of Mike Guidry right there in front of him. And then Doug just got loose, and then Mike Pruitt along for the tumbling ride down, and then hard into the wall. So tough break there for Mike. Looking at fastest laps here, we see someone has cracked the 30-second barrier, and that's the 54 Bill Yarbrough. Impressive there. Good job by Bill. The 51 of Dave Jandry is shown as our leader. Taking another look here at the running order. See the 72 and 69 have both retired from that incident. We still have Sam and the 43 now. Sam and Rick are showing a lap down. I'm trying to find the 23 car. 23 car showing on the tail end of the lead lap. So Jim Sharp tail end, Sam and Rick in the 98 and 43 one lap down, and Michael Morse in the 32 car showing 2 laps down. The rest on the lead lap. We'll have 19 cars on the lead lap proper, 1 on the tail end. We'll see if Jim goes into the pits. If he does, he'll show back a lap down. So there we see the lights are out on the pace car. So 23 will line up high in front of our leader Dave Jandry. The 98 and the 43 will be able to come down low on the inside of this. Checking to see where the 43 and 98 are. There's the 43 coming up. There's the 98. Why they're not moving up, I don't know. Lights are out on the pace car, so they need to be moving up if they're going to get up to the leaders. And I think the problem is that the 32 car hasn't moved up, so that prevents the 32 car appears to not know that he shouldn't be starting on the high line here. But we go green, and that really don't know what was going on with that. But we're green flag racing, and Jim Sharp, tail end of the lead lap. Dave Jandry is our leader. See how our leaders handle the 23 car, leading the pack, but not leading the race. The 51 is leading the race. The 6 of Mark DeSenza second, 54 of Bill Yarbrough third, and there we see Dave Jandry making that move to the inside, and now Jim Sharps is going to be having a little problems here with the outside as a big train forms on the inside. Now the 6 is clear. The 54 is clear. The 151 is clear. And the 52 of Rick Johnson also clear now. The 02 of Dave Simons also wanting to join the fun. Dave Jandry, our leader, he's had a great car all night. Lap 89 of 132, so still 44 laps remaining. All have to come in one more time. Looking at our top 10, and who we don't see is the 18 car Robert Bokum, who is in 11th. So Robert not doing too bad. 30 car Mike Guidry hanging in there. The 06 of Bill Farmer still up in the top 15. There's Dog back to 15th. So Dog was up in the top 5, and now he's fell back to 15th. And there's the 9 of Ken Hansen in 16th, and that's a surprise to me that Ken would be back in 16th at this point. But we'll see if Ken maybe made a last pit stop. Maybe he's got some fuel strategy cooking in that he. Well, you got to win a race here at FSB. You got to use your brain, and you got to use your physical skills to drive this car. And 51 Dave Jandry's covering all those bases right now. He's led a lot of laps tonight. The 6 car Mark DeSenza second, 54 Bill Yarbrough third, Rick Johnson, Dave Simons. These guys have been up at the front all night long. They've been the class of the field, really, these cars. And they've proven it because they've all stayed clean and they've all stayed at the front and avoided the carnage in the back sometimes. But now we might have a pass for the lead. Marks has rooted out Dave Jandry from that inside line. And now we'll see if that train forms again. And it looks like it will as Bill Yarbrough goes down low. The 52 of Rick Johnson is now down low. Dave Simons, Guy Petra. Guy was up high. He lost a couple of positions there, but now he's going to go down low and see if he can gain a few positions. Side by side for second place. Mark DeSenza, our leader, 52 and 54, battling there and for the second position. Rick Johnson on the inside, Bill Yarbrough on the outside. We got 2x2, Dave Simons and Dave Jandry side by side for fourth and fifth. Mark doing a great job so far. He sees these hungry people snapping at his heels. And now Rick Johnson dives down low. And it looks like Rick's wanting to lead for the first time tonight. But Mark says, not so fast. I got some speed here on the outside. Side by side for the lead. And Rick will take that position. So Rick Johnson, our new leader, Mark DeSenza is in second, but he's battling, and he got a little, maybe, I don't know if there was contact there between the 54 and the 6, but it looked like Mark had to get on the brakes a little to keep the car right. It stacked everyone else up, but some great driving, no contact, no wrecking. Green flag. Rick Johnson, our leader. Bill Yarbrough second. Dave Simons now up to third. Now Dave Jandry trying to make a move to the inside of Mark DeSenza, but that's for the fourth position. Rick Johnson got the lead, been keeping the lead. Bill Yarbrough right behind him. We're on lap 98 of 132. 35 laps remaining. With about 22 to go, if my prediction 22 to go would be lap 110. Look at about lap 110 for pit stops. No one can make it the rest of the distance, I believe. All have to stop. That would be cutting the final distance in two. We'll see if anyone does that. Right now, Rick is in the lead. Bill Yarbrough second. Mark DeSenza is falling back to third. Dave Jandry fourth. Dave Simons fifth. Mark Favorite up to sixth. Guy Petra seventh. There's Webb in eighth. Joe Cutt now up to ninth. So Joe Cutt with a good run, and now Robert Bochum has also cracked the top 10. So Robert, despite the damage, running top 10. And I know he can't be as fast as he used to be here, but he's doing a great job. He's in the top 10, and with a wounded car in the top 10, I think he would take it. Not to say that he can't move up more positions, because I think he will and can. Stay tuned. Guy Petra, Steve Weber side by side. Now Steve takes that position. So, as we continue to go green here, the lead pack is content to follow the leader for this last pit stop, I believe. And we're on lap 102, so 30 laps remaining now. Once they cross the line, 30 laps remaining. Rick Johnson, our leader. Bill Yarbrough, second. Mark DeSenza, third. This is our lead group. Mark Favorite trying to keep up with this pace. Then back to Steve Weber, Joe Cutt, Guy Petra, and there's Robert Bokum. And then a little further back to the next group of cars, that's the 06 and the 9 with Ken Hansen. '68 of Chet Barkin and the 30 car of Mike Guidry. They're racing in the 13th and 14th position. Ken in 12th, Bill Farmer 11th, Robert Bokum in 10th. And he's right on the back bumper of Guy Petra. And let's see if Robert waits to the turn or makes the move. But now Robert really gets uptight against Guy Petra there onto the outside looking and giving him a mirror full of the 18 car right there. As we go back a little further beyond Robert Bokum, there's the dog, Pops, Sam. Of course, Sam lap down, looking for a caution here. Sam up high. Ooh-wee, Sammy. He likes rim riding. And that was way up on the rim. That was on the Grand Canyon rim. Right there, Sammy. Kept it off the wall, kept it going. Now Robert Bokum giving Guy Petra a hard time. And that is for the 9th position. So Robert Bokum, despite the banged up car, is making steady progress back to the front. Guy not giving this position up easily, but eventually Robert Bokum does get to the inside, completes the pass, and he is now in 9th position. We see now that Ken Hansen is also making some progress up toward the next group of cars. You see Joe Cutt up a little high as well there and there. And as they thunder down the backstretch, you see some cars getting a little racy again. You see the 6 of Mark DeSenza getting a little out of shape there. Went down low, had to gather it back up, get him back up to speed, but that's going to allow a couple guys to get around him potentially. One has, that's the 44 Mark Favorite, but he's up high. He's going to have to keep that gun in place. And some great racing here toward the mid-pack. As we go back to our leaders, you see the 52 of Rick Johnson continuing to run that nice clean line here. Bill Yarbrough has stayed in second. He's getting a challenge from Dave Jandry now. Ken Ron also top 4. So Ken Ron with a fine run. Excuse me, Ken not showing on the lead lap. Ken showing a couple laps down. So the 6 of Mark DeSenza is our 4th place. So this is a top 3 battle here amongst those 50 cars. But now Bill Yarbrough up a little high, and the 51 gets around him. So Dave Jandry takes the 2nd position. Bill Yarbrough back to 3rd. Then we have a gap back to the 88 of Joe Cutt in 4th, I believe. Is that? Yes, Joe Cutt in 4th. And there's Mark DeSenza, Mark Favorite, Robert Bokum, Ken Hansen, and Dave Simons all in this pack, chasing down those leaders. Will they get them? Again, we have 20 laps remaining now, and I thought we would be seeing some pit stops And I think we are. We see the 54 car is in. Bill Yarbrough's our first car amongst the leaders in the pits. Excuse me. We are keeping an eye on our leaders now. I think cars will be coming in now that the lead that some lead cars have come in. We're now inside 20 laps to go. And now we see the 52 of Rick Johnson peeling off and going down pit lane. So our leader from this last green run, Rick Johnson, with a great stint there. He'll be coming down for his final stop. Let's see what he does. Right side goes up. There goes Rick after his service. So good job by Rick. I think we got to start seeing. Yeah, now we see Dave Jandry in the pits. So now I think we have to start seeing pit stops. Robert Bokum in. So pit stops are happening. Joe Cutt was our leader. He's pitting from the lead. Joe Cutter. Mark DeSenza also in. And that looks like the O2 of Dave Simons is also in. So a bunch of leaders now filling up pit lane. There's a 9 of Ken Hansen also in. There's Rick, Bill, and Chet Barkin. Chet with a great run so far. And these laps winding down, we see only 17 laps remaining now. We should see everyone cycling through these pit stops. Who will that give the lead to? Will it be back to Rick Johnson, or will it be someone else? Stay tuned. We got to see all these cars make their stops. We see the leaders going by Joe Cutt, who did pit from the lead. So there's Rick and Bill. We're looking at our leaderboard here. Steve Weber showing as our leader. So we have 4 cars that have not pitted. And we have caution out. So this is really this really has just changed things. And we'll see if we can see what happened with this caution. Lap 117 of 132. There we see that the pace car is already out there. And there we see Mark getting a little squirrely, but I don't think that was the cause of the caution. So green flag there. Green flag there. Ken Hansen doing his service. And caution is out. Caution is out. So we're trying to see what this caution was all about, and don't really see any reason for it. That's where the caution came out, right there. We saw the lights just come on. There we see the pace car just getting ready to leave pit lane, and we're looking at the cars, and we really don't see any wrecking going on. I know there's some smoke there, maybe coming into pit lane. Not known. Another, that's 2 cautions tonight. I can't explain to you what happened, but laps are running down here. Let's check our leaderboard. The 83 of Steve Weber is showing as our leader. We'll get up to the front here. Check on where we sit. So this is really screwed things up. As you can see, only 3 cars on the lead lap, and then a bunch of cars on the tail end of the lead lap. Wow. So the 83, the 07, and the 44 are our leaders. Let's see where they are in this lineup. So they're way in the back of this field now, the leaders. So this is really going to be a wacky restart. Going back, trying to find. There's our leader of the race right there, the 83 is Steve Weber. You can see how far back he is in the running order. As we go back forward to where the cars will start, you can see a lot of cars between Steve Weber and Rick Johnson. But all these cars got trapped a lap down with that caution. 3 cars on the lead lap, the rest on the tail end of the lead lap, and there's a host of cars on the tail end of the lead lap. Lights are out on the pace car, so Rick will lead him down, even though he is not the leader. And as we look, you see that we only have 13 laps remaining, so when we take the green, there'll be 12 to go. So we'll watch the restart here amongst the non-leaders, and then we'll slowly work our way back to our leader of the race and see how everything goes. Green flag is out, and here we go with just 12 to go. And there's the 23 car getting a little squirrely. Woo! Good save there by Jim Scharf. Car looked like it was out of shape. Now he's down on the apron. He's got to be careful here. The 07 of Ken Soska is one of our 3 lead lap drivers, as is the 44 right there behind. So don't want to bump into one of our 3 leaders now. But it looks like everything goes okay. So there's our leader, Steve Weber, in the 83 car. And he has just a half-second lead on the 07, who's right behind Steve Weber. So we said earlier in the broadcast about Ken Soska turning that first win into maybe some more FSBRacing.com gold, and he's doing. He put himself in a position to do that with 8 laps remaining. Really, Steve Weber's race to lose now. He, of course, does not want to see a caution come out. Everyone else does, except the 83 and the 07 and the 44, I think. But we'll see how that goes. And we see a car way down low on the apron. That's the 6 car, Mark Senza. And something must be wrong with the 6 car, as he is slowing and appears going into the pits. And with just 9 laps remaining, Mark obviously having a problem. We'll get back to racing here as the laps are winding down. And we see some smoke, and we see some wrecking going on. Robert Bokum is involved again. And there's some more. Oh, and the leader's wrecked. Steve Weber is wrecked. He keeps it going, but he wrecked the car, though. And more chaos here. More chaos here. Wow, unbelievable occurrence. Let's see what happens as the caution is out. And you see Steve on the bottom and gets caught up in the wreck. On his side, down the apron he goes. Wow, what a hard hit there by our leader. He's going to be hard pressed to now keep that lead, I think. And all these cars were going to get a go around. So this has really changed everything. Let's check. We're on lap 128. So 5 laps to go. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see what happens here, as all of those cars will get back around and will be able to challenge these other cars that were all by themselves, the 83, the 44, and the 07. Hard hit for Steve Weber. I think he wants this to stay under caution, and I don't know if it will or won't. It's too vague for me to know these things, but we'll follow this pace car with the lights flashing. If the lights go out, we're going to be racing, and he's going to have to defend with a very badly damaged car, as he got hit twice. Bill Farmer and Robert Bokum had contact, and then he flipped onto the side of the car and slid for a bit, and then came hard down onto the tires. And kept going and kept the lead. This could maybe go down in the FSB history if Webb pulls this win off. But man, that was crazy. And you can see the car is beat up, and the lights are still on, but there's still laps to go. So that's still no consolation yet for our leader, Steve Weber. Let's recap this running order here real quick. There's Steve in first. Mark is in second. Ken is in third. Dave Jandry now back to fourth. These are the cars that were on the tail end and now have come all the way around, and they're hungry. They are hungry. Rick Johnson is hungry. Joe Cutt, Bill Yarbrough, these are all our early leaders of the race that got shuffled back and then trapped by that caution. Will they have one more chance to redeem themselves, is the question. But Robert, man, I've never seen you get roughed up like you did tonight, man. I don't know what's in the water tonight here in Atlanta, but it ain't kind to Robert Bokum. He was beat up tonight. We're usually seeing Robert taking a checkered flag not infield care center. Let's go back up to the front here as the pace car will cross the line. And the lights are out on the pace car. So we will have a green-white checkered finish. We will have a green-white checkered finish for all the money. Steve Weber, beaten up, on his side, smashed the front end a little, I have to think, is in our lead. Mark Favor, I think, has a better car now. I mean, a less damaged car. Ken Soska, I also believe, has a less damaged car, and I know all the ones behind Ken are starving. They're like people who haven't had anything to eat in weeks, and they're starving, and they want to get up there and get that fruit, which is the checkered flag. And I think these top three are going to have their hands full with those fourth and back Dave Jandry group and back. All those 50 cars, 51, 52, and 54 are really going to be flying here. And let's not count out anyone else, like the 9 car of Ken Hansen either. But we're going to go green, and this is it. Green flag's out. Steve Weber leads him down. The car is beat up. No passing to the back straight. So Steve will be able to at least feel out the car coming up the speed. It might be a handful. We don't know. As they come out of 2, this is where the fun will begin. And we have... oh, and there's contact between Joe Cutt and the 07 of Ken Soska. They both go high, and there's contact and some hard wrecking. Bunch of cars wrecking. White flag is out. This will be for all. This will be for the win. Dave Jandry is our leader. Our favorite goes up high, takes Bill Yarbrough up high. Now, but Dave Jandry now is up high, and now here comes Steve Weber back with the beat-up car. Who will win this final race here? This is it. And it looks like it's going to be Dave Jandry. I guess they did take the yellow. It didn't. Didn't know that they did. But a whole lot of wrecking going on behind these leaders. And checkered flag for Dave Jandry. Steve Weber second. Mark Favor third. Ken Hansen fourth. Bill Yarbrough fifth. Wow. What a finish. Bad luck for the 52 car, Rick Johnson. Let's take a look back at that and see what caused that huge calamity as cars were strewn everywhere. You can see that as soon as we went green, it immediately went 3 wide. And I think Rick was feeling pretty good about his chances. There was a lot of contact there. The 07 up high, then the 07 got a little squirrely. And then just hard contact between the 30 and the 108. Let's take another look at that and see the genesis of it. It's hard to tell here. It looked like it's hard to tell. It looked like Dog there also hitting the apron. Wow, that's just a cluster right there. I can't tell you what happened. Let's take another back look at this here. It just looked like it's been. I might want to call this a chain of a chain reaction. The 52 Looked like went low to avoid the '07, who was slowing against the wall, as is the '88. He saw that. As he moved down, Dog was kind of in his space, and Dog moved down to avoid contact with the 52 car. But unfortunately for Dog, as he took the evasive action, he got down on the apron, and then as he came back up, there's contact right amongst the three of them, the 108, the 52, and the 30, and they go flying. Dog hard into the outside wall, lifting up the back tires, up on two wheels momentarily. Bunch of cars to the inside wrecking out as well. Uh, we see the 52, the 88, the 30, and the 151 all caught up in this melee here. And just nowhere to go for cars coming in on this too. And there's contact by the 23. There's some cars sneaking by on the inside. Cars still spinning and wrecking. Or 52 getting hit again. Wow, what a crazy finish. But finish it does. And unbelievably, the running order, I think, has changed again now in the official standings, which have just reset, and I don't even think I can tell you who won the race. It looked like it, though. 02 of Dave Simons is our winner. We're going to have to. That's a crazy finish here. Um, we're really going to have to check now with our administration to see how this race finishes up. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of uh, stunned right now. And we'll see if we can get our admin, Joe Cutt, to come on up momentarily once maybe he gets done talking with the guys. Looks like Ed's up here now. Uh, Crazy finish, Ed.
Oh yeah, I figured I'd enlighten you guys. That really crazy ending there, and a bunch of guys were still thinking it was race to the line, and apparently anyway. And because they're passing people, the game put them down a lap as a penalty because the race wasn't over yet.
Yeah, I thought they were still racing to the line, then they slowed down, and then there was cars strewn about all over. I thought I took a quick glance and I saw that the '02 car of Dave Simons was shown as our winner, and we just need to know if that's the case. It reset quickly, so I don't know even who won the race.
Dave
Yeah.
Simons is your winner.
Yep, and Dog was second.
That's a crazy finish there, Joe.
That's a pretty wild one.
That
It was a
some-
heck of a race. I mean, a lot of great racing all night long, and not the way we want to see a finish come, but it's in the books now.
Okay, well, there we go. Thanks, Joe. If you want to go back in, talk to the boys, appreciate the update. Um, wow, what a I'm still trying to gather in what happened there. There was a contact. There was cars everywhere. There was cars that I didn't think took the caution, but maybe they thought they did, so they slowed down and got past. Some did take the caution, and if they passed people, then they were put a lap down. Uh, Crazy, crazy finish.
Oh yeah, with that kind of carnage going on and cars spinning every which way but right, you tend to forget what's going on at the time. You're just trying to keep your metal clean.
Yeah, not to mention the second actually time in this race, the field really scrambled. A caution trapped almost the entire field a lap down, and then this happens, and man, some wacky wrecking going on, and some great racing though, and some long green runs on top of that.
Oh yeah, there was some great times out there. The setup was perfect. Most of the cars were fast. I mean, a couple of mix-ups here and there, but I mean, it was really a great time tonight. I was a little tiffed that my motor blew there near the end. I had a pretty fast car, but things happen.
Yeah, especially in this race with the contact and stuff. There's probably a lot of cars here are gonna need some body work and body attention. Uh, Again, I'd hoping to get a final running order here. I'm trying to see if Dave Simons is here, but I don't see him here. Uh,
Yeah, I've been watching Fallen TeamSpeak, and I don't know where he went. Maybe he disconnected or whatever. But nice way to start.
yeah,
This is his first year.
what a great win. I mean, uh, a win is a win is a win. Uh, I don't even know if he knew he won at the time, but nonetheless, wow. Congrats to him. If we could maybe let's see, we said Dog finished second.
Yep. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Animal House, the kid on the bed, and all of a sudden the girl comes through the window. Thank you, God.
Yeah, that's exactly what probably Dave is feeling right now. He may not even know he's won this race if he disconnected. Maybe had a computer problem or something. But congrats, Dave. See if we can get Dog up here. I'm sure he's very happy with a second place finish in the Winston Cup race. He works hard, and I'm sure he's quite satisfied. And I don't know who finished third either, Ed. You know who finished third?
Offhand, don't remember. It may have been Mark Favorite, but I don't know. I'm going to get out of here and head down to the garage and break out the GT and get ready for Sunday's Daytona road course race.
Absolutely. All right, Ed. Well, thanks for giving us that inside info of what was going on down there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to could have helped.
So, Ed coming in and briefing us there on the final outcome. Wow, I'm still kind of thunderstruck by the happenings there at the end, and I'd really like to know who won the race and what the running order is, and I'm trying to get it. And we do see that Dave Simons is our winner. And if I can bring this up, we see that finally, here we go, is our running order. Let me display it for you here. Uh, there we go. This is our running order, folks. So final results. This is official. Admin Joe Cutter, appreciate his time as well, saying this is the official results. Yes, Dave Simons is our winner. And let's recap. John Palmer second. Dog Palmer with a great second run. Joe Cutt third. Mike Guidry uh, falls into a fourth place finish, and then you can see the lap down cars. So basically, four cars finished on the lead lap, according to the final running order. Uh, we thought that Dave Jandry was going to be our winner. Steve Weber was going to be second, but it appears that they passed the pace car when the race ended, meaning the race ended with them having passed the pace car, and since they have no way of serving a black flag penalty, you get put one lap down. That's my put together of this. So Dave Jandry, Steve Weber, Mark Favorite, Ken Hansen, Bill Yarbrough, Chet Barkin, Ken Saska, Rick Johnson, and Guy Petra, while also involved in the incident, uh, were in all reality on the lead lap in their minds, but of course the game said no, you did something wrong, and they got put a lap down. So the final outcome was changed. Dave Jandry was going to be our winner in the running order. However, the game said that those cars passed either those cars or the pace car or something to that effect, and that cost them to go a lap down and handing the win to Dave Simons, who had a great car all night, and congrats to Dave. He had a good car, and he was up at the front all night long, so it wasn't like he didn't not deserving of a win by any means. So congrats to Dave, Dog, and Joe. Great runs there in second and third. But you got to give the goodies headache powder award to Robert Bokum as well for getting roughed up there in this race. And I think we also have CEO of FSB Racing, Jim Ray. Jim, did you see that finish?
I did. I was thinking, I better go get a look at this here with a couple laps to go, and I actually had it on the pace car when the wreck happened. Pace car pulled off with his lights on and everything, and the top 10 just blow right by him. And I'm thinking, well, at least they can wait to the back straight, catch up with him. But they just continued on right past the start-finish line. So your 10th place driver, Mr. Simons, with 2 to go, is going to be your winner. And it just goes to show, especially in a crowded race, it's never over. You could be sitting in 12th with 1 to go thinking, oh, man, I'm screwed. But this is the internet. You never know what's going to happen. And I was really surprised none of them stopped for the pace car. I mean, the wreck did happen out of 4. But they all just kind of followed Dave thinking it was over, I think. And then the pace car pulls around and parks, drops everybody a penalty. And away you go. And you are 100% correct. If you get a black flag that you cannot clear by the end of the race, you're going to get docked a lap because you could not clear it. That's pretty standard here in the game. Good call, and that's the way it shakes out. Congratulations, Dave Simons. Gift wrapped.
I'll tell you.
No, he's probably asleep.
Yeah, we saw that he disconnected, and I'm thinking, I wonder if he even knows he won the race yet.
I can't remember the last time somebody woke up in the morning and didn't know that they had won a race, but he's going to wake up tomorrow. He's going to have a Winston Cup victory under his belt.
Yeah,
maybe he'll see it. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll go next week. Somebody ought to
somebody email him
or something.
Yeah, someone send him a Western Union or something. But and Jim, really, if you think back with your knowledge of all the people coming and going here, Dave just coming into the FSB division. Not easy to win a Winston Cup when even if you're experienced, that new to the league.
It's not, but again, the easiest thing to get it done is to simply not pass the pace car. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter what division you're in. If you see that yellow Corvette with the lights on, hey, check up a little bit. But I think he was following around too, and they all just happened to catch him at the start-finish line. As it was just chaos with a big wreck like that.
Yeah, it was chaos. There were some very chaotic wrecks through that race.
Absolutely. And Dave, obviously no rookie to sim racing and all. He's been around the block a while. So get that first one under your belt. What we just introduced him this week there as joining the division. So he continues where he left off after a real great tryout, and great to see Dave out there tearing it up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jim, thanks for popping in and taking that review of the explanation. That does help. And yeah, I was even unaware as I was so caught up in the goings on. I didn't even know they passed the pace car. So that tells you that maybe I would have been a lap down as well.
Yeah, unless you're riding along with someone, it's just hard to tell. Or in the race, it's so hard to tell what's going on from the booth. I remember the days of, he must be getting something, blah, 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 blah. He's getting, guys getting damage fixed. You always assume it's like, he's got a black foot. It's just really hard to tell up in the booth. You're doing a great job. Thank you. We're heading to Daytona. Ready
Yes,
to
we are.
Before,
yes, we are.
Sunday at noon. Everybody come on out. I'll let you finish up your show there. Thanks again, Greg. See you Sunday.
Okay, Jim. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, we'll wrap up here. Man, what a crazy race. Dave Simons, our winner. That's all I can say. Dog second. There we go, Dog. Second place.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable. Most of it is backwards.
I think Mother Palmer is going to have a very enjoyable watch.
I believe her blood pressure probably will go down, and she will have a very good time tomorrow.
Well, I know it's maybe not the most orthodox second and third place for you two, but a second or third place in a Winston Cup 29-car field's got to make you feel pretty good.
I am absolutely thrilled, and this is the first time I've ever been in the booth, and it's my pleasure.
Well, congrats, John. And Joe, man, have you ever seen a finish like that in your admin era?
No, that's definitely a first. Hopefully, it was exciting for the fans.
Yeah, it was. If it wasn't exciting, it was chaotic, at the very least. And I was under the impression Dave Jandry was our winner. And uh, when I flipped over to the official standings and I saw Dave Simons on there, I was kind of speechless for a bit there. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Jim did take a look. He said those cars just zoomed on by the pace car, never slowed down for it. So that's what the game will do to you if you don't serve that black flag. So 4 of you followed it, 10 of you didn't.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. You gotta follow the rules till you cross that line and take the checkered flag. So, I mean, unfortunately, there's a few guys that felt the brunt of that penalty, and Dave had a great run and lost the win. But Dave Simons gets his first win at FSB, so congrats to him. You got to take him any way you can get him here. There's
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of great drivers.
Yeah, when you get a Winston Cup win, I don't care if you have to drive it in reverse to get that win. That's a big win.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's you got to mix everybody in here, pros, rookies, and everybody in between. So I mean, it's not easy to win one of these, and there's a few guys that are always at the front, and sometimes you just got to be lucky. And tonight, Dave was lucky, and congrats to him.
Absolutely. So great job for both of you. Enjoy your podium finishes. And hey, I like having new people up in the booth. So tell your friends, win the race,
Will do.
finish top three so we can talk.
Well, thank you, Greg, and I'd like to give a shout out to Dave too. Congratulations on your first win there, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Always nice when you get that first win. You feel you can breathe maybe a little easier, saying, you know what, I can win a race finally. And sometimes you have a lot of almosts, and you start wondering if you'll ever get that first one. So when you get it out of the way, it makes it a little easier for you. All right, well, appreciate it, guys, and thanks for joining me. Great runs. You kept the cars clean. A lot of wrecking, so not an easy thing to do. I know, Dog, you had a hard hit there at the end with Guidry and Rick Johnson there.
Yeah, Greg, and I actually had it in reversed and was driving with my mirror for a while, and then I hit the brake, brought the front end around, and threw her down first and took off.
Yeah, and that car was I heard it was sputtering and steaming into the garage area.
Yeah, it was pretty hot in that cockpit. I tell you what, I was ready to get out of it.
A great run, dog. Good to see you up in the top three, man. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. As I hope to be here again.
All right, all right, guys. Well, appreciate it, and catch you on our next broadcast, Pro Cup and Winston Cup, Wednesdays and Fridays. That's what we do here at FSB. And if you want to be part of that action, which you saw tonight, man, who wouldn't want to be part of that action if you're a driver? I mean, that's what it's all about. Check it out, fsbracing.com.